Hey, we're in the room podcast tonight with Nick J.C. Alley, 6-3 welterweight, and main event next week for CES 61, Wednesday, October 14th at the Crown Plaza in Warwick. Nick, welcome to the show again. Congratulations, man. How you feeling and what's going through your head with this huge opportunity?
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. As always, dude, you always do so much for us locally. Same stuff as always, man. You know, I know everybody's talking about, they're like, oh, you know, how do you feel it's the biggest opportunity of your career? I'm like, dude, for me, my career, every fight's the biggest opportunity of my career. You know what I mean? I don't have a whole lot of other options. Like, the next fight is always the biggest fight. So I feel wicked excited. I'm happy that it's a week away. I mean, you know, I was supposed to fight I fought in February, then I was supposed to fight in April with COVID, then that got canceled, then I was supposed to fight Marcus Davis, and then that got canceled, and, you know, when that got canceled, I was like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. And then, like, a week later, they hit me up with Gotti, and we jumped on it, so.
And that was right away, like a week later after, you know, talking about your fights falling through. You know, CES, there wasn't much rumbling about local things going on, but, you know, there was hope that CES was the promotion in New England that could get going. And they did. What was it like for them to call you? Because, Nick, this is your second time fighting for them. But This is the first time as a main event and fighting on their Fight Pass, you know, portion. You know, what was the feeling like when you got that call?
It was pretty cool. I didn't know it was going to be main event. I assumed it was probably going to be like on the televised card. I'm just happy to fight, dude. The more that I try to get caught up in like the main event aspect of it, I feel like that takes my focus away. I'm laser focused on next Wednesday. I have one goal, and that is to win this fight. So I really could care less whether it's main event, first fight of the night. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter to me where in the lineup it is or what type of fight it is. Every fight that I have from here on out is the biggest fight. So,
well, your last fight was in February. Came away with a first round, you know, big submission there. Submission, you know, lots of missed submissions in your game. One TKO there, but I think you got like five finishes, subs, one TKO in there out of your 6 wins, all finishes, man. So you're a big gamer, man. You're a big name fighting another big name. You are fighting John Gotti III, 5-0. The dude's, you know, we know he's a killer in there as far as knockouts. Dude's got 4 first-round KOs. How you feeling about this matchup? I mean, the dude's a big guy, but, Nick, you're a big 170-pounder also.
Yeah. Thanks to, you know, my nutritionist, Trisha Cornell. I can't give her enough credit. We really got this whole nutrition thing on lock. Yeah, I'm a big welterweight. And, you know, at this weight, I feel like anybody can knock anybody else out. You know, I know he hits hard, which is part of the game plan. I would expect anybody that's been fighting for as long as me, if you go in against John Gotti with the game plan, to just stand right in front of him and, like, you know, what are you doing? You're asking for it? You know, I would like to think I have a little bit more intelligence than that. But like you said, I got all finishes, first and second round, so I only know gas. I got I got one speed. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. It's going to be a good fight. There's like, if you just look at us stylistically, there's no way this goes down without it being exciting.
Exactly.
There's really no way. There's
exactly.
no way.
You know, he's coming off, you know, I think, a TKO his last finish, but he's been to the decision. You haven't been to the decision yet. All your wins have been finishes. Yeah. What are you thinking about this? I mean, you 2 big guys in there. He's a knockout guy. You're a submission guy. But, Nick, you're no stranger on the feet, too. I mean, your submissions are put there because of what you do on your feet and the setups, man. How you thinking about, you know, you and him going at it as 2 big welterweights and the action you're going to be putting out there in that cage?
It's exciting. You know, it's nervous. It's exciting. It is really... I mean, you know, I know a lot of people see me with submissions and see my last couple fights with submissions, but, you know, like I've said, and I've said to you since the very first day that I met you, my goal is to be the UFC champion. I'm not going to get there just by doing submissions. So anybody who is sitting here watching this going, oh, this guy does jiu-jitsu only, you're out of your mind. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. My stand-up game is on point. I work with good coaches. I got good striking training partners. You know, I got like Joey Gomez, Ross Levine, Ken Murphy. That's just like off the top of my head. I got Miguel Cuevas, who's just doing murderous things. Like, you don't survive where I train if your striking isn't on point. Especially like Walter Catito too, just coming in there, killing people, still getting rounds in with Ryan DiBartolomeo, who's now boxing. You know, I'm no slouch anywhere, so I'm excited. I can fight this fight anywhere it goes.
Now, this is basically your second training camp, Nick. You've been in training camp since February, since your last fight. I mean, you wanted to get in a bunch of fights in 2020, COVID hit, but you were staying ready. You had that fight with Marcus Davis scheduled. You know, how is this training camp? How did you, you know, kind of, you know, stop and start again? And it had to be a whole different training camp because you're going against a whole different animal here.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully we still had like 6 or 8 weeks. It was definitely a long training camp. It just really, what we did is once we realized the first fight, you know, with Marcus was gonna fall through, it really was, we just wanted to make sure that we focused on, okay, let the body heal from where we were at. You know, let's figure out what we were already doing that's going to work well in this fight. Let's take out some of the things that aren't going to work so well, and let's add in, you know what I mean? So thankfully we had a ton of video, a ton of review, and I've been working with my coaches now for so long on this that it doesn't take much for us to switch up, you know, a game plan. I fight a pretty certain way. They're used to that. So as long as we have the technical side of what we have to do correct, you know, the switch is just getting the reps in.
Excellent. Well, you do a lot of, I don't want to say cross training, but, you know, you got your strength and conditioning coach, you got, you know, you kind of jiu-jitsu, you got your striking in there. Have you added anything else? I mean, I know you had that one training camp, but when you were getting ready for Gotti, did you add anything else in? Did, you know, you want to get another look in there, or did it just stay the same and, you know, you just keep, you know, Nick going as is scheduled?
You know, it remains the same. I always try to get, I try to get talent in when we can. You know, we had a real big sparring session the other day. We had a bunch of different fighters come down and got a bunch of good looks. And it's good to do that every once in a while, I think, just to kind of put yourself in perspective of where you're at. Because you never want to be the big fish in the small pond. You want to make sure that you're going out and you're really testing yourself against quality. So it's good to mix that up. But I'm also not the biggest fan of, you know, like having everybody there, you know, getting everybody, all these different looks at you. Because I feel like sometimes if you can't figure out, you and your coaches are always trying to change to adapt to something, you don't get a flow. You know what I mean? You don't get a rhythm. And if you don't have a base, then how do you make any appropriate changes?
Well, Nick, here we are, 170 pounds. You've been there before. You fought as high as, I think, 185 or close to that at a catch weight. Dude, I must say, you look shredded. You look the best shape. I swear, unless these are Photoshop pictures. I've been checking you out on Instagram stuff.
Photoshop pictures.
I gotta say, Nick, out of all the time I've known you, this is the best shape I think I've seen you in, or look as good as ever.
Well, I can tell you that I was in shape already training for Marcus Davis. So this was just continue on. You know what I mean? Like the conditioning part of it, I work with Counter-Strike conditioning. They are great. They have an awesome strength and conditioning program. It's all remote. They have coaches that help you and work with you. And then I have my in-house guy, Sean Gill, who helps us out. Does the strength and conditioning at our gym. He's the man. So really, it's just I was already good. You know, it feels so nice to have a professional setting, a professional atmosphere. You know, really a professional training camp. It's definitely the most complete I've felt in a camp and most prepared I've felt in a camp. I have my sports psychologist too, Caleb Rogers at Mental Sensei. He is the man. I feel really good. Just really good.
Well, it seems like everything's, you know, firing on all cylinders. You know, everything happens for a reason. I mean, you had these fights fall through, COVID came, but here we are coming, you know, I can't say out of COVID, but we're making our way in progress here with fighting out of COVID. And here is the biggest opportunity of your career. And it's just not for you. It's also for your opponent. It's just not you, Nick. You are his biggest opponent to date and his toughest opponent to date. I mean, you know, everyone's focusing on Gotti. He's the big name. You know, you are the big name in New England, but Gotti, you know, everyone's on him, and, you know, the roots and the family and stuff like that.
I know where I'm at in this fight.
Yeah, so, you know, how's your mind? I mean, I know you got the sports psychologist. How much is that working to keep you like, I'm the man in this game?
Dude, it's on. I'm telling you, it's fucking on like Donkey Kong. Like, everybody will see. Everybody will see. You know, his boys can tell him whatever they want to tell him. And I'm sure that is. I didn't have the support that he has. But when I was an amateur and I was up and coming, and when I was 3-0 as a pro, I had everybody throwing everything at me, you know, before I took a loss. So I was there, but I also know that he knows I'm his toughest fight too. He can say whatever he wants, and he can come in there with plans and knock me out in the first round. That's fine. But you know, he's got to overcome that, just like I got to fight John Gotti. So I'm excited. I am fucking excited. Excellent.
Well, a couple of more questions before I let you go there, Nick. You're fighting for, you know, your headline and main event for Fight Pass here. You fought on the Access T before. I don't know if you fought on Fight Pass before, but you are fighting on Fight Pass. I know you've been to big stages. You fight for Bellator. You know, you fought on the big stages. What's it feel like to fight for CES, the main event, the first card back, fighting with no fans? Like, what's going through your mind, and how are you feeling about that opportunity?
The no fans thing doesn't bother me. I think it's actually kind of cool. You know, I fought in plenty of places with not a lot of people there, so that's not that big of a surprise for me. Main event is always dope. I love having the opportunity, and CES has always treated me well, getting fights there. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity, and not to mention what else it brings. You know what I mean? Because I know that this opportunity will spawn other opportunities. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic for the future, but I'm very located right here, right now, because I got a week left in a big fight. So
excellent. What's left in this week?
What do you mean?
What's left to do? What's left to do for Nick in this final week?
Just continue the same. Tighten up a couple little things. I saw some things on video just of kind of just getting reps in. I mean, at this point, you're not making major changes. You're just keeping the weight down. Just trying to make sure that your mindset is right. Timing on some things is right. You know, I'm actually it's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that I'm working out with the guy that I have fought in Bellator, Kestos. I think he's coming up this weekend. We're gonna work on a couple things. So it's positivity. You know what I mean? Like I'm partying in a week. So I'm just keeping on that train, staying healthy, keep the weight down, have fun. You know, don't. Even I'm guilty of it too. You know how many times it's a week out, you're like, oh shit, I'm stressed out. It's a fucking big fight. Like, yeah, 100%. But this is exactly where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get easier than this. So I might as well just enjoy this craziness while I'm in it, and then miss it as soon as it's gone, because that's exactly what happens. You know, all the nerves, and then you fight, and you're like, shit, I want to do that all again for no reason at all.
Well, my man, you get through this with your hand raised, man. The sky's the limit after this. You'll be back in that cage very, very soon. Who's going to be making the trip? Who's going to be in your corner come Wednesday night?
Still working that out. I know Ed. I know one of my other coaches is trying to get the day off right now. He's just with it getting swapped to a Wednesday. It was kind of a little logistical battle, so we're trying to figure that out now.
Yeah, it's all a new game here coming out of COVID with all this testing, man. It's new for everyone, man. It's going to be great for CES to finally get back, you know, New England back on the map. They got a ton of talent fighting on this card, a lot of young up-and-coming talent. Eyes are going to be all over this card. Last thing before I let you give your shout-outs and sponsors, what do we expect to see from Nick at CES 61 Wednesday, October 14th?
Fireworks as always. Technique. I think that's really gonna. I think it's really gonna play into it. I've really been working hard on game planning and you know what my strategy is on this. I can't share it to you yet. You get to see it when you see it. But I think it will really shine, and it'll be nice for people to see that. You know, yeah, I get submissions, and I understand my last opponents and stuff like that. But my last 4 fights, I went through 16 different opponents before I finally got to make those walks to the cage. So there was a lot of switch. It wasn't the ideal. Just clean. They'll see that. They'll see that. You know, all this talk about me going to the UFC is it's warranted. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just made up. It's real.
Excellent. Well, Nick, I've been, following you since your amateur career, man. I'm so proud of you, man. You got main event, CES, fighting John Gotti III, a huge up-and-coming name in MMA. Dude, congratulations. Last thing, sponsors, shout-outs, and social media, and I'll let you get going and enjoy this last week of training.
Yeah, man, for sure. As always, management company, Sean Rockwell at Prime Elite Management. Impact mouth guards, because they just sent us a bunch of dope mouth guards, so I always appreciate them. Apex hemp oil too, for giving me CBD products like it's going out of style that are killer. And then my go-tos, Trisha Cornell, my nutritionist. She is the best. I can't thank her enough. My sports psychologist, Caleb Rogers, and then all my training partners, my team at Team Link in Hooksett.
Excellent. And there's plenty of them, and there's plenty of them that have eyes on them too, man. The team's doing it, dude. You're doing it. Like I said, New England's behind you. Congratulations on a great matchup and a great fight, Nick. And we'll see you next Wednesday, man. We'll be watching on Fight Pass, and we'll be wishing you well, man.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, we'll see you, bro.